Chapter 3. I have heard what the talkers were talking, the talk of the beginning and the end. But I do not talk of the beginning or the end. There was never any more inception than there is now, nor any more youth or age than there is now, and will never be any more perfection than there is now, nor any more heaven or hell than there is now. Urge, urge, and urge, always the procreant urge of the world. Out of the dimness, opposite equals advance, always substance and increase, always sex, always a knit of identity, always distinction, always a breed of life. To elaborate is no avail. Learned and unlearned feel that it is so. Sure as the most certain sure, plumb in the uprights, well entreated, braced in the beams, stout as a horse, affectionate, haughty, electrical. I and this mystery, here we stand. Clear and sweet is my soul, and clear and sweet is all that is not my soul. Lacks one, lacks both. And the unseen is proven by the seen, till it becomes unseen and receives proof in its turn. Showing the best and dividing it from the worst, age vexes age. Knowing the perfect fitness and equanimity of things, while they discuss, I am silent, and go and bathe and admire myself. Welcome is every organ and attribute of me, and of any man hearty and clean. Not an inch nor particle of an inch is vile, and none shall be less familiar than the rest. I am satisfied. I see, dance, laugh, sing, as the hugging and loving bedfellow sleeps at my side through the night, and withdraws at the peep of day with steady, stealthy tread, leaving me baskets covered with white towels, swelling the house with their plenty. Shall I postpone my exception and realization and scream at my eyes? That they turn from gazing after and down the road, and forthwith cipher and show me to a cent exactly the value of one and exactly the value of two, and which is ahead. Trippers and askers surround me. People I meet, the effect upon me of early life, or the ward and city that I live in, or the nation, the latest dates, discoveries, inventions, societies, authors old and new, my dinner, dress, associates, looks, compliments, dues, the real or fancied indifference of some man or woman I love, the sickness of one of my folks or of myself, or ill-doing, or loss, or lack of money, or depression, or exultations, battles, the horrors of fratricidal war, the fever of doubtful news, and fitful events. These come to me days and nights, and go from me again, but they are not me, myself. Apart from the pulling and hauling stands what I am, stands amused, complacent, compassionate, idle, unitary, looks down, is erect, or bends an arm on an impalpable, certain rest, looking with a side-curved head, curious what will come next, both in and out of the game, and watching and wondering at it. Backward, I see in my own days, where I sweated through fog with linguists and contenders. I have no mockings or arguments. I witness and wait. I believe in you, my soul. The other I am must not abase itself to you, and you must not be abased to the other. Loaf with me on the grass. Loose the stop from your throat. Not words, not music or rhyme I want, not custom or lecture, not even the best. Only the lull I like, the hum of your valved voice. I mind how once we lay such a transparent summer morning, how you settled your head athwart my hips and gently turned over upon me, and parted the shirt from my bosom bone, and plunged your tongue into the bare striped heart, and reached till you felt my beard, and reached till you held my feet. Swiftly arose and spread around me the peace and knowledge that passes all the argument of the earth. And I know that the hand of God is the promise of my own. And I know that the Spirit of God is the brother of my own, and that all the men ever born are also my brothers, and the women my sisters and lovers, and that a kelson of creation is love. Unlimitless are leaves stiff or drooping in the fields, and brown ants in the little wells beneath them, and mossy scabs of the worn fence, heaped stones, elder mullein, and pokeweed. A child said, "What is the grass?" fetching it to me with full hands. How could I answer the child? I do not know what it is, more than he. I guess that it must be the flag of my disposition, out of hopeful green stuff woven. Or it is the handkerchief of the Lord, a scented gift and remembrancer designedly dropped, bearing the owner's name some way in the corners that we may see and remark, whose? Or I guess that the grass is itself a child, the produced babe of the vegetation. Or I guess that it is a uniform hieroglyphic, and it means sprouting alike in broad zones and narrow zones, growing among black folks as among white. Canuck, Tuckahoe, Congressman, Cuff, I give them the same. I receive them the same. And now it seems to me the beautiful uncut hair of graves. Tenderly will I use you, curling grass. It may be you transpire from the breasts of young men. It may be if I had known them, I would have loved them. It may be you are from old people, or from offspring taken soon out of their mother's laps. And here you are their mother's laps. The grass is very dark to be from the heads of old mothers. Darker than the colorless beards of old men. Dark to come from under the faint roofs of mouths. Oh, I perceive after all so many uttering tongues. And I perceive they do not come from the roofs of mouths for nothing. I wish I could translate the hints about the dead young men and women, and the hints about the old men and mothers, and the offspring taken soon out of their laps. What do you think has become of the old and young men? What do you think has become of the women and children? They are alive and well somewhere. The smallest sprout shows there really is no death. And even if there was, it led forward life, and does not wait at the end to arrest it, and ceased the moment life appeared. All goes onward and outward. Nothing collapses. And to die is different from what anyone supposed, and luckier. Has anyone supposed it lucky to be born? I hasten to inform him or her it is just as lucky to die, and I know it. I pass death with the dying and birth with the new-washed babe, and am not contained between my hat and boots, and peruse manifold objects, no two alike, and every one good. The earth good, and the stars good, and all their adjuncts good. I am not an earth, nor an adjunct of an earth. I am the mate and companion of people, all just as immortal and fathomless as myself. They do not know how immortal, but I know. Every kind for itself and its own. For me, mine, male and female. For me, those that have been boys and love women. For me, the man that is proud and feels how it stings to be slighted. For me, the sweetheart and the old maid. For me, the mothers and the mothers of mothers. For me, lips that have smiled and eyes that have shed tears. For me, children and the begetters of children. Undrape, you are not guilty to me, nor stale, nor discarded. I see through the broadcloth and gingham, whether or no, and am around, tenacious, acquisitive, tireless, and cannot be shaken away. That was chapters 3 through 7 of Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. Like I said, you can find all of it online, and he is really an incredible poet. He also lived through the Civil War, and while he was in his 70s, I think, during the Civil War, he served as a nurse. And if you're at all interested in that portion of Whitman's life, I would strongly recommend his first first-hand account called Memorandum During the War. Otherwise, I also recommend his entirety of Leaves of Grass. It's a lovely little tome full of beautiful poems. And I hope that you'll join us at Lamplight Poets if you're interested in writing your own poetry or learning more about poetic form and thought. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for spending this time with me.